नमस्ते नमस्ते भैया नमस्ते दीदी
जी सुन भैया नमस्ते नमस्ते सीमा दीदी नमस्ते वेलकम
नमस्ते सभी को
नमस्ते नमस्ते जी
Seema Didi, we have a few participants joined, so let us take some sharing from them and then we can start after some time.
Okay.
If they have some sharing from their side, they can place it now. Thank
you. Tell me when to start, when there is a substantial number of participants.
You can start with the sharing even right now. So we will take a few sharings and then we will start the session. Maybe after say 5 minutes or so, after a couple of sharings.
Okay.
Over to you, Didi. Yeah. Okay.
So a very good evening to everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you to this evening session of SIP. Now today, as resource person, we have Dr. Sunil Kumar. But before we officially begin the session, we can have some sharing from some of the participants. You can raise your hand and we can provide you the mic. So over to you participants, whoever wishes to speak. It will be nice if you can just raise your hand and we can offer you the mic. Thank you. Would anyone like to share anything, what you have been observing, or any particular thing that you feel that this whole universal human values content has made a difference in your way of thinking, your perception, in your behavior, anything? Would anyone like to share anything? Okay, so we can provide the mic to Farhat Begum ji. Farhat.
Hello, namaste.
Yeah. Namaste, namaste. Yes, please go on.
Okay, I have attended this UHV, I think in November. So, sorry, not November, I'm sorry, last year. So, September, I think, yes. I have been doing a lot of introspection. I have been observing my behavior, starting from counting my clothes, keeping a tab on my buying habits, expenditure. Also, I always, whenever some student is trying to talk back or try to disturb the class, I always pause for a moment and I breathe and listen to him carefully. What is he doing and why is he responding or why is he distracting the class? And one very important difference I have observed, and people have already told this to me, that you have become very calm. I was a helicopter mom, always worried about my kids and doing too much for them. Now I have just taken a back seat and I observe. Unless and until they approach me, ask me, I don't help them out. I mean, I don't offer help unless they ask for it, because sometimes they're just telling me. But before, whenever they would come and tell, ma'am, this has happened in my college or this has happened with my friend, immediately I would start giving them suggestions or some sort of advice or something. I would just interrupt them, and or at least my expressions would display that I'm worried about it or something like that. But now I've become a lot calmer and more receptive, not only with my students, even with my colleagues who have appreciated this change, though it may be very subtle, but they have always told me that you'd panic and you'd get agitated very fast if there is some problem or some students misbehave. But now you are not. You are very calm now and you are not getting disturbed. This is one compliment I got, and I give the credit to this course where, because of my introspection and because of so many examples our resource people have given us, and they have asked us to think, discuss, and the weekly meetings where I have attended and people have shared their experiences. Because of that, I can happily say, yes, there is an improvement in my behavior, even in my thought process. And I believe that I can still improve, that I can do a lot better than what I am right now. I'm going for this UHV 2 offline course, which is happening in RB. I'm from Bangalore. So I'm sure after that I will have more clarity and more after interacting with all the resource people and fellow participants, I will have more things to talk about. But yes, I have become a better person in terms of behavior, and also emotionally I'm more stable now. Thank you.
Wonderful, ma'am. Very nice. So we can see, the right understanding, that UHV is giving to you and to all others. It's
Yes.
really helping us to be, better human beings, more empathetic, more understanding, and it's besides giving us
Yes.
improving the harmony within ourselves, it's also improving our relationships and our whole attitude and approach within the family also. So
True.
wonderful exploration, wonderful, very nice observation. And would anyone else like to share? Would any other participant like to share? This thing that you were saying about counting, this otherwise we women, we are so much into buying more and more and more, and still when we open our wardrobes we still feel that it's not enough. But now even it's come into me after COVID, ever since I started doing these UHV courses, and I actually counted all my shoes and everything. So it really makes you wonder, my God, how many resources you have accumulated within yourself, and some we are not even using. So if we have any other participant to share, if not, then Bhaiya, I think Sunil Bhaiya, we can formally start with the session.
Yeah, Didi, we can start.
Okay. So over to you, Sunil Bhaiya. It's going to be a wonderful session, I'm sure. And I'm sure you will provide some other insights and help us all to explore and observe further. So over to you, Sunil Bhaiya. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Seema Didi, for the nice introduction. And your words are also encouraging to me, in fact. And Farhad Didi, your sharing, it was wonderful. Nice to hear that you have been changing a lot due to your UHV1 course as well as your exploration in subsequent times. And that is reflected in your behavior outside, as you pointed out correctly, in behavior with your colleagues, with your students, and with your children also. So let us be self-referential like that. Let us explore the proposals by our own. Let us help others also to see the proposals, first of all, verify the proposals, and then explore by themselves. Very nice. So this is the outcome of the understanding the proposals of universal human values and living by the proposals. So what we say is the proposals are, first of all, listened and understood like information in the beginning, and then we verify the proposals based on referring to our natural acceptance, and in due course of time we try to live by the proposals, and that will reflect in our behavior with the other human beings, as Farhad Didi has mentioned just now. and also work with the rest of the nature. And it improves, rather the exploration will help us to improve ourselves in ensuring right understanding in every one of us in due course of time. Okay. So any other participant, if you would like to place your sharing, your observation or your questions, you are welcome anytime. You can use the chat box also. I can see a good number of students also have joined. So the students are most welcome to place your sharing. This is the session for students, in fact. So, and also many of the faculty members have also joined, so you can also place your sharing. Yeah, thank you. With this brief introduction, let us go to the session. So the follow-up meeting of eSIP has been happening from November 2020, as we all know. The proposals which we place before the students during the students induction program are being discussed over here. And we have restarted the session a few weeks before from session wise. The first and second as well as third session, they have been completed by the previous Wednesday. And now we are going to start with the fourth session. In fact, in sequence that is coming, but we can go back to any of the sessions if you wish like. You can have questions, you can have your own reflections, your life experiences related to the universal human value proposals which you have explored can be placed at any point of time. You're welcome for that. So as you can see in the view foil, we have been discussing about this particular thing in the last Wednesday's meeting. The purpose of this entire course is to develop a holistic perspective, which includes all aspects of our real life. First of all, myself. I have to see who I am. And that is what we are going to discuss in the next segment, in the fourth segment of the SIP. Our family, friends, classmates, seniors, teachers, those who are around us. And that is coming in the relationship part. Then we will discuss about our society. What are the social systems? What is a human goal? What are the four components of the human goal? And our natural environment. So this is the sequence in which we are going to go. In other words, we can also say that a holistic perspective means understanding harmony at all these four levels: harmony in the human being, harmony in the family, harmony in society, and harmony in nature and existence. So we have discussed about the basic human aspiration in the first few sessions. It is happiness and prosperity and their continuity. And when we say happiness, it is harmony, to be in harmony, to be in a state of harmony. That also we have discussed, and we are trying to verify that. And when we say harmony, harmony is in first of all, at my own level, at the individual level, then at the family level, society, nature, and existence level. So we discussed about all this in the subsequent sessions. This is the content of this and the purpose of this Universal Human Value Course 1. And the previous session, that is session number 3, has been concluded with these points in front of us. So the desired state is achieved by ensuring right understanding, relationship, and physical facility. All the three with the correct priority. So in this priority, right understanding will stand on top. A relationship is the second priority, and physical facility as the third priority. So whenever a relationship and the feelings in the relationship are guided by right understanding, our behavior with the other human beings will lead to mutual happiness. And whenever physical facility, the need of physical facility and the procurement of physical facility, when they are guided by right understanding, then we will be having a feeling of prosperity, which is nothing but having or producing more than required physical facility. And that will reflect in our work with the rest of the nature, leading to mutual prosperity. I will be prosperous and the nature also will be prosperous, or the rest of the nature will also be prosperous. Holistic development is the transformation from current state to desired state. we have discussed about our current state, in which most of us are in a state of animal consciousness, or we can say inhuman consciousness. And the desired state is human consciousness. In my current state, I may be more interested to acquire more and more physical facilities. But in the desired state, I would like to go to the human consciousness, where I give preference to right understanding and relationship prior to the physical facility. So that is what we refer to as human consciousness. Then happiness is to be in a state of harmony, and harmony is what is being discussed in due course of time. Unhappiness is to be forced to be in a state of contradiction. We say unhappiness is to be forced to be in a state of contradiction because this is not a naturally acceptable state. What is naturally acceptable to me and everyone is to be in a state of harmony. But when it is unhappiness, which is a non-desirable state as I am concerned, as everyone else is concerned, it is a forced to be state. Prosperity is the feeling of having more than required physical facility. This is the gist of the discussion in the previous few sessions. So if any questions or reflections with regard to this, we can place it now before we pass on to the next session. We have certain home assignments also. This is discussed in the previous day's meeting. Hope many of you would have done this home assignment, right? Take out your list of aspirations and concerns in session 1. Find out what is needed to fulfill your aspirations and address your concerns. Right understanding, relationship, and physical facility. I can just classify the aspirations based on right understanding, relationship, and physical facility like this. We discussed about this. I hope you would have done this exercise. Many of you would have done this exercise. If you have done this exercise from your own perspective, we can reflect upon this. That is something which we can do before we pass on to the next session. So mics have been provided to some of the students also. So you can place your reflection if you wish so. Mr. Niranjan Dole Bhaiya, mic is provided to you. Would you like to place your reflection? Sushma Kumari ji is also given the mic. If you would like to place your reflection, you can place it. Yeah, Niranjan Bhaiya, you have unmuted. Please go ahead.
Sir, I have no reflection.
Okay, fine. Sushma Kumari ji, would you like to place your reflection? You can state whether you have done this exercise in the past week or any other time before, when you did your SIP in your college, or some other time. Did you do this exercise by yourself? If you have any reflections with regard to that, some observations with regard to doing the exercise, something which you have understood, or something which you have verified with regard to the exercise, you can place it right now. Yeah, somebody has raised his hand. Now the hand is not seen. If anyone would like to place your reflection, you can raise your hand. Ansil? Yeah. Mic is available to you, Ansil. You can place your reflection.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ansil.
The reflection which I would like to make is that, sir, for achieving kind of like aspirations, we require all three, sir, in our life. The right understanding, the feeling of relationship, and also the physical facility. Let it be money. If you are considering for money, just only physical facility shall be required, which is of animal consciousness, of course, and which for maintaining name, fame, attention, and respect with everyone, we require the right understanding and right relationships, sir. So I would like to say that all the three are much equally important in maintaining a prosperous life, sir.
Nice, very nice. Good to see that you have explored this and you have verified this proposal. Could you able to do the exercise, Pencil?
Yes, sir. We had did it done in our college also, sir.
Nice, very nice.
Classifying our aspirations and concerns, and yeah, the last question: how much time and effort do we put in every day for these 3 areas? Of course, the concern shall effort shall be for right understanding and right relationship itself, sir. Considering other aspects of like college work, eating, sleeping, and all, I was just concentrating on the right relationship and right understanding parts, which I would usually take more effort so that I can nurture my life on based upon that principle, sir.
That is very nice to hear from Ansel. But what is my current status? Am I spending more time for physical facility right now? Or are you spending more time for right understanding and relationship?
Spending more time on, of course, right understanding and right relationship, sir.
Yeah, nice, very nice.
Rather than physical facility.
Thank you, Ansel, for the sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, nice. So many students may be having the same kind of sharing or similar kind of sharing with them, but maybe when one of the students reflect upon this exercise and place a sharing, many of us will feel that, okay, I also wanted to say the same thing. I also wanted to place the same kind of sharing. I also wanted to ask the same kind of question. And when somebody asks a question, somebody places a sharing like this, then others also will getting resolved automatically. So until I consider him as a representative of many students who are sitting over here. Well, if anybody else would like to place their sharing, you are welcome before we pass on to the next session. So this has been the exercise which we have been proposed to do in the last day's session. Most of you would have done that. And this is something very fundamental with regard to all of us. We would have liked to, like Didi was telling in the beginning, the number of clothes we had, the count. Many of us do not know this count. So with a feeling of prosperity, now we can find out how much physical facility. It is not just with regard to number of clothes, number of pairs of clothes, but with regard to other physical facilities also. We can have an audit upon this, and let us see how much prosperous I am, how much prosperous you are, let's say. All right. So with this note, let us pass on to the next session. So this is the second part of the home assignment. Yeah, this has been discussed in the previous day's meeting. You can list your list of aspirations and classify the aspirations into the 4 categories: individual, family, society, and nature. And concerns also, we can classify them based on the 4 categories: individual, family, society, and nature. Right. And then we will discuss in this session today, discuss about the aspirations and concerns in the individual level, at the individual level. All right. Yeah. So this is this session starts with notion that you must have done your homework and exercise and explored the content shared yesterday, means the previous session. Okay. We have discussed the 4 levels of living: individual, family, society, and nature. So here in this session, we are going to focus upon the aspirations and concerns at the individual level. This is just a sample or a typical slide in which you can see many of these aspirations which we have. So in the first and second session, we have had an exercise like this. You were asked to list down your aspirations and concerns, maybe in a piece of paper. And I have typed down those aspirations and concerns in a file. And we have classified those aspirations and concerns based on certain categories in that, right? Now, to be happy is one of the aspiration. To be healthy is another aspiration. To be prosperous, having knowledge, quest for knowledge is another aspiration. Ability to decide properly on my own, independently, may be an aspiration. Clarity in thoughts, self-confidence. These are some of the aspirations which are told by you only, which are told by students like you in some of the students' workshops. So some aspirations are just typed down here just for reference. And you can add to this list. There are many. When we conducted the face-to-face workshop for faculty members in Chennai from the 1st of 5th of this month, when the faculty members were asked to say some of their aspirations, there were plenty of them. In fact, I was writing down all those aspirations on a board with a chalkboard. So the board was not enough to list down all those aspirations. So what I did is I cut down the aspiration, the number of aspirations to 25, because the space was permitting me only to write down 25 aspirations. And finally, after those 25 aspirations or those list of aspirations, I have to discuss with them each aspiration on the basis of self and body. So we are going to discuss about self and body in this particular meeting. Some of the other aspirations, as you can see here, coming out of stress. This is another concern, not aspiration. I can say that is a concern. Managing pressure of academics. So if you look at your student life, at some point of time, you would have been under pressure. Sometimes during the examination, sometimes a couple of days or a day before the examination, during the examination, in some other occasions when you have some deadline to be met, a project to be completed, a seminar to be presented the next day. So some kind of pressure may be there, and how to manage such kind of pressure. Sometimes some students find it difficult to manage pressure, and they may develop some health issues also with regard to that. Then time management. For many of us, time management can be maybe an issue, but we never see that every one of us has 24 hours. And those who manage time best, they will become much more happier than others. Yeah. So these are some of the concerns: time lost due to illness, entertainment, time spent for entertainment, domination of one gender by the other, pressure of placement, somebody is placed, somebody is not. So when my colleague is placed, I will become a little bit uncomfortable. Overcoming negative thinking, attending classes, that also is a concern for someone. Peer pressure, of course, that is a major concern. Temptations for some other thing other than academics, anger, how to control it, depression, suicidal thoughts. So when you have these kind of concerns, the list is endless. You can add many more, whichever you can. So if you have more concerns, if you have more aspirations, you can tell me right now. We can add to the list later.
You can write in the chat box if there is something, participants, if you would like to share any one of your concerns or aspirations.
Yes. You can use the chat box appropriately. Right. Nice. Okay, you can go ahead, writing down in the chat box. Now, how to address these concerns? This is our point of discussion right now. How to address the concerns, how to achieve the aspirations which you are listing down over here. Are you going to have a piecemeal solution? For example, coming out of stress, are you going to undergo a stress management technique or a stress management course? Then for managing pressure of academics, For time management, are you going to have another kind of a course, a program? Other kind of pressures, pressure of placement, overcoming negative thinking, peer pressure, etc. Are you going to have another kind of a program? To control anger, depression, etc. Are you going to have yet another kind of a program? So I can quote an example. So when I was attending the PTA meeting of my son in his school, he is in +2, my younger one. The principal of the school was telling with regard to the kind of programs they undergo, rather they offer to the students in stress management, in time management, anxiety management, overcoming peer pressure, coming out of this, say, drug addiction, and all other kind of things. So I was wondering, sitting in the audience, that if so many kind of programs are offered to the students, maybe the students are going to become like a little bit confused. Somebody who is attending all the kind of sessions, let's say, there is every possibility that if you give kind of piecemeal solutions, the students may get confused with regard to that. So because someone who tells something with regard to, say, time management, and somebody else may be telling something with regard to, say, peer pressure or anger management, etc., there may be some conflict between these kind of tips or kind of solutions. So what we need here is not like piecemeal solutions. What we need here is a holistic solution. And the holistic solution is based on what you see here on the right. Right understanding, living with fulfillment in relationship with human beings, and ensuring more than required physical facility with rest of nature. So this is with regard to aspirations. We discuss about concerns maybe in the next slide. So to fulfill our aspirations, let us confine to, say, these three things firmly: right understanding, right relationship, and adequate physical facility. As Ansil was pointing out just now, he could identify and he could verify that these three parameters are required in this priority order for a fulfilling life, to fulfill the basic aspirations. And the question here is, should education help us to ensure right understanding? Should education help us to ensure right skills? What do you think? What is your perception with regard to these two questions? Should education help us to ensure right understanding? Or, yeah, nice. Value-based education is necessary for right understanding. That is what Ansel is typing. Nice. What does education do right now? Is it ensuring only right skills, or just skills? When I say right skills, that also is leading towards right understanding. Skills. The skill part is addressed by education mostly right now. And when the skills are based on values, then that ensures right understanding. So Sudhiji is typing, education shows the right path, but cannot ensure right understanding. So Sudhiji, if you can say raise your hand, I can provide you the mic. You can place your sharing with the mic. That is nice. Would have been nice. What is your perception whether education, when you say education shows right path but cannot ensure right understanding, what should be the required path, or what should be provided by education? As it is pointed out here, is education, can education provide or help us to see our natural acceptance and hence ensure right understanding? Is it possible? That is what we seek here. So largely, education is focused upon providing skills. Right path means it helps us for physical facilities. Yes. So the skill part of that. Nice. Education is focused upon physical facilities, or the skill part of earning physical facilities, acquiring physical facilities. But what is expected from education is the skills which are guided by values. Yeah, so the types again, but only values learned from elders only helps us with right understanding, right? So your elders are there to help you, the teachers are there to help you, the parents are there, and others are also there. And if the education is guided by the values in a systematic way, as the proposals are being shared with you, the proposals are only one way of doing it. But as you said, there are others also to help us in this. Sushma Kumarji is typing, education helps us to ensure right understanding, also helps us to feel self-confident in ourselves, brings positivity. Very nice, Sushma ji. So if the education which we are gaining from our schools or colleges is not based on right understanding, if it is focused upon skills alone, let us try to bring in. It is our responsibility of the teachers as well as the students to bring in the the value-based skill education into our curriculum, right? So when we discuss the proposals in the students induction program and the faculty development program or other workshops, and in the colleges of the AICTE, say, institutions, it is our responsibility to understand, verify the proposals and help others also to improve their competence, and finally to ensure right understanding in every one of us. So first of all, let us concentrate upon, rather focus upon ourselves, try to ensure this right understanding in ourselves, and then let us help others also. So whenever this harmony is instilled in oneself, we can share it with others, and others also can come up to the same level of competence, our level of competence. So if our glass is full, then only we can pour this to somebody else's glass, right? So we try to verify and ensure right understanding in ourselves, and then help others to improve their competence. Let us see what we can do. So to fulfill our basic aspirations, we have to ensure these three parameters, or can be fulfilled by right understanding, right understanding in the self, living with fulfillment in relationship with human beings, and ensuring more than required physical facility with the rest of the nature. So now we can see that in education, AICTE institutions, this is already implemented. The Universal Human Value 1 and 2 programs are implemented in the first and second year respectively. UGC has accepted this, so UGC will implement this in their degree and PG programs sooner than later. The NCERT has accepted this in principle. So in say schools also, this is going to come maybe in a short span of time. So let us see that the skill education is now going to be guided by value-based education. Now when we come to concerns, as we discussed just now, what we try is we try to address the concerns in piecemeal. Is it so? What is your take on this? Are we addressing these concerns? Like, this is a list of concerns which we have listed in the previous page also, and we try to address these concerns in piecemeal, like coming out of stress management program, managing pressure of academics. There is another academician coming and telling you about a lot of things about academics, let's say, and he will tell that no, you don't need to be worried about this. Yeah, Ranganaji would like to share something. Ranganaji, namaste. Ranganaji, namaste. Yeah, namaste.
Namaste, sir. How are you, sir?
Very fine. What about you?
Yeah, I too. Sir, I have a small submission, sir. If you permit me, I will submit,
Please,
sir.
please.
Yeah. Sir, fulfilling aspirations. Some students ask me, because I teach human values and professional ethics, in spite of so careful planning, preparation, and other efforts that they put, even then they fail, sir. Sometimes their aspirations will not be fulfilled. And then one question, how to motivate them, how to make up their mind, because I teach mindset also. And second, I would like to share, sir, what I told my students. Don't hide deficiencies. Instead of it, you stretch your hand, stick to it to succeed, sir. In spite of it, they say, sir, we sometimes fail, and they told that it make them depressed and some other thing. How to educate them, sir?
Nice.
In order to fulfill their aspirations, because as you said, we are all there and others are there to make their aspirations fulfilled, sir. To enhance physical facility and right understanding, right thinking, and right effort also. In spite of all these things, sometimes they face failures and are unable to get their aspirations fulfilled, sir. Could you please enlighten me, sir, so that I can enlighten my students?
Yes, sir. Yeah. To my level of exploration, I can tell you something, that's all. I don't know if I can enlighten you or not, but I can just tell something with my level of exploration. So,
yes.
Yeah. So when we discuss these proposals to the students,
yes, sir.
We can take their concerns and aspirations first. We can spend some time with them just to get their input.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
then we also would have say some experience in the past with regard to discussing solving the concerns and fulfilling the aspirations of the students and also ourselves, right?
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. I gave them some case studies also. I asked them to write down what are their aspirations, as you say, they said. And lastly, they one or two students, they said, sir, in spite of that is what they feel, sir. Good, sir. Thank you. Please go.
Nice. So to connect, in fact, the students, if they have to connect with the proposals, what is required is we have to give examples which are related to the student life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So something which is connected to their hostel life, their college life, their life with the other colleagues, maybe outside the campus also. You can give some examples. You can give plenty of examples. And all those examples, but examples are not important, but the proposals are important, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
so all those examples have to be connected to the proposals directly. In that way, we can bring their attention to the right understanding. Rather, you can say the natural acceptance, because many times I can say one example. One of the teachers was complaining, rather she was just sharing her experience with teaching with UHV to the students.
Yes, sir.
When she asked whether you trust everyone, they said, no, we don't trust everyone, we trust only very few.
Yes, sir. Yes.
She again tried to bring their natural acceptance to their attention to natural acceptance, but they didn't come to that level. They said, no, we cannot, ma'am, we cannot trust everyone. We can trust only very few. So why do we trust? And we also do not want everyone to trust us.
Yes.
This was their exploration. But the teacher was telling that, no, I failed to, in fact, bring their attention to natural acceptance.
There we can see my right thinking, sir.
Yeah. So what we can do there is we can bring their attention to natural acceptance through certain examples. Right. We can just start with somebody who is very close to them. You can ask them whether maybe their parents may be there, siblings may be there, or some close friend may be there, whatever, whoever.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
You can ask them whether you want him or her to trust you. They will certainly say yes, because that is a natural acceptance.
Yes, sir.
So, so if it is true for the other person, it will be true for the person who is not known to you also.
Yes, sir.
Just like that, you can just deviate them towards the somebody, maybe the other may be somebody who is not known to the student.
Yes.
And slowly, you can bring the natural acceptance. You can bring their attention to the natural acceptance.
Gradual.
Gradually, yeah. It is a gradual process only. It will not happen overnight. It won't
Yes.
happen in a week. It won't happen even in a year. It won't happen even with 5 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
So it will
sir.
take time. But many times what happens is, unless the students attend such kind of weekly meetings, maybe in the
Yes.
college also we can have weekly, under the banner of the UHV cell, we can have weekly meetings there.
Yes.
So unless they attend the weekly meetings, what happens is they forget about the proposals.
Yes.
And they deviate away from the proposal. They go to their, say, the other way of life, which they have been following earlier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So maybe after, say, maybe occasionally or after a period of time, it is good to bring their attention back to the natural acceptance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For that, we have to take our effort. But this is some effort which we have to put in.
So I'm doing.
Yeah, right, sir. Very good. So sometimes we may also feel like, no, why they are also not coming to what I am telling. So why am I taking so much of effort?
Yes, sir.
We have to actually get out of this feeling and let us attend more and more weekly meetings. Our faculty meetings are also there on Saturdays, Sundays. We can attend them. Attend more and more workshops.
Yes,
now,
sir.
yeah, I'm going to attend this workshop in Thiruvananthapuram on from 29 onwards as a facilitator. Yeah, that is helping me to improve my competence.
That we have counseling hours, sir. In that counseling hour, I used to train the brains of these students. One colleague asked me that he believes in fatalistic tendencies, sir. Fatalistic tendency, that is, they say what is written already predestined. I said, no, you can change that one, provided you have developed your physical facility and put effort, sir. That is fatalist tendency. They will think karma theory. No, it is, we are the writers. We are the writers of the students' futures. What you said, there are a number of people. Above all, we are there. Teachers are there to train their brains.
Right.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening me. What all I get from you and others, I pass out into my students. There I feel quite happy. And yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, sir.
Right. So, as Renmaji was telling right now, this is a concern for many of the teachers. Even if I tell this 100 times to the students, he or she is not ready to listen, or he or she deviates away from the main proposal. So when we discuss the proposals with the students, immediately what happens is this becomes like an information, like any other course, any other, say, technical course to them. And this information has to be verified, first of all. So for verification, let us bring their attention to the natural acceptance and let them verify. Rather than telling them the solution, we can let them verify the proposals and see the natural acceptance. And then let them live by the proposals, and that will reflect in their behavior with the other human beings and work with the rest of the nature. So this is something which will happen only over a long period of time. So it is good that the students can come to the weekly meetings. They can attend the workshops. There is a workshop which is going to commence from 29th of this month onwards. So it is good if they can attend multiple workshops. I can see when I went to Chennai, I saw a faculty member who is attending her 7th workshop. That was her 7th workshop. Many of them were in the online mode. Some of them were in the offline mode, but she is attending the 7th workshop. Ruby Didi, who is attending along with us over here, she attends a lot of workshops. So it is good to attend many number of workshops that will keep us in the process of self-exploration. We have a couple of messages in the chat box. Kuruva Srinivas Bhaiya is typing, no right understanding can lead to spoil their life and others' life. So I read it like, no right understanding can lead to spoil their life. Yeah. Bhaiya, that is not very clear to me. If you can raise your hand, the mic can be provided to you. If you can make it clear, would that be nice? In the meanwhile, Farhad Didi is typing, Hello, can I get the contact number of the person who was sharing? Sorry, I missed his name. It is Ranganaji Avaru. He is in many of these WhatsApp groups. So Ranganaji, Farhat Didi wishes to have your number. So if you can,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes,
share
yes.
your number in the chat box,
I
it would be nice.
I put it in the WhatsApp, sir, in the chat box. I put it in the chat box.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Ruby Didi, thanks for your message. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, thank you. So when we address our concerns, usually we go for piecemeal solutions. That is the point of discussion. That is what many of the schools and the colleges are doing. They bring a lot of people who are trained in a particular area, and they speak on the basis of their own perspective, with a lot of say excitement part of, maybe there may be a lot of games also in that. A lot of excitement things will be there, and this maybe if it is a stress management program, the students will be attracted towards the game part of it. They will be attracted towards the excitement part of that discussion, and they may say that the discussion is very good, but the main theme or the main content of the discussion or the main proposals in the discussion would probably be missed out. This may happen. So I have some experience also regarding this. So when we go for piecemeal solutions, this can be the result. The outcome may not be that much good usually. Maybe there can be some immediate effect, but that is not going to be sustained. So what we require is a holistic solution. So when we try to address this piecemeal, we make effort for personality development, stress management, memory enhancement, anger management, etc. That is not going to, that is sometimes it is going to cause some confusion in the students also. Sometimes the proposals made by the different people may be conflicting too. So are these concerns independent issues or they are interlinked? What do you think? The concerns which are listed over here and many more, are they independent concerns or are they interlinked? Vaishali is typing, as I am also attending more and more workshops, helping me in getting clarity in my understanding. Really, Didi, I am also doing that. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. So when we attend more and more workshops, the clarity of the content is getting increased, and different resource persons, when they speak to us, we get more and more insight into the content. So whenever I listen to the same content again and again from different resource persons, or even from the same resource person multiple times, I get something extra, something more from that. So when I speak about the content to somebody else, I can speak maybe in a slightly different fashion, or is something in addition to what I was speaking earlier. I will be getting that, and I can speak on the basis of that. Nice for the comment. So are these concerns independent issues or are they interlinked? What do you think? When we say stress, academic pressure, time management, time lost due to illness, etc., peer pressure, attending classes, overcoming negative thinking, are they independent or interlinked? Interlinked. Ansel is typing, it is interlinked. Nice. Interlinked. OBG. Yeah. So if you look very closely, you can see that all these concerns are actually interlinked. Technology is typing, concerns are interlinked. Nice. So are there many issues, or is there a basic root issue? And if there is a root issue, what is the root issue? What do you think? When the concerns are interlinked, and if there is a single issue, a basic root issue, what is it? One root cause, lack of right understanding. Root issue. And still, Ruby Didi, thank you. Root issue is lack of right understanding. Vaishali Didi, thank you. That is what we are addressing. Root issue. Technology. Nice. So we want to resolve our concerns. Yeah. So as you proposed, The root issue is lack of right understanding. And that is what we have to address. When we do not understand a reality, we are not able to live with fulfillment with that reality for sure. So if we do not understand human being, we are not able to live with fulfillment within. When we say we have lack of right understanding, the major proposal, root issue is to be addressed. Thank you, Raghunathji. When we say the basic issue is lack of right understanding, the first thing to be understood is the other person. First of all, we have to understand ourselves and then the other person. So who is a human being is to be understood very, very clearly. And that is what we are going to address first in this particular session. We will not conclude the session today, but we will continue it in the next Wednesday also. So we want to explore the outcome of understanding the reality human being. We may think that we know everything with regard to human being, but in fact, we do not. We have to understand something more. Will we be able to live with fulfillment within? Will our concerns at the individual level get resolved? If you do not understand the reality, human being, will this happen? So let us try to understand human being and then find out our concerns, if our concerns can be resolved. Right. So we will just start the proposal of human being, and we can stop there. And then if you have any concerns or if you have any questions, any sharing, we can place it. Yeah. So we say this, as we discussed in the SIP and the faculty programs, faculty workshops, human being is a coexistence of self and body. Each one of us is different in a sense that we have different viewpoints to discuss. We take different decisions for the same issue. If it is given, we take different decisions many a times. So who makes all those decisions? And how come the decisions be different? Who enjoys the food which we eat? Who enjoys the music which we listen? Who enjoys the movies? Self. Again, here also, the enjoyment of the same food will be different. The taste of food is different from person to person. How does it happen? Music. Every one of us cannot be the same kind of music lovers. There is difference. Movies. There is choice. There are choices for movies by each and every one of us. How does it happen? Sometimes we may feel high. Sometimes we may feel elated. Sometimes we may feel low and depressed. How does it happen? The same situation may place two different persons in two different kind of states. Somebody may feel, say, high. Somebody may feel low.
Bhaiya, maybe if there are any questions from the participants,
right.
We could take those, and then we can also, you can, if you want to give some assignment so that for the participants to reflect on, maybe we could take that before ending the session. It's time.
So what I wish is, let us keep these questions open and this proposal also open before we close the session, and they can think of these questions and whatever aspirations they have written down earlier. Then they can see if the aspirations are for the self or the body. We discuss in detail with regard to the self and body in the coming session. So now, if there are any kind of reflections or questions by the participants, they can place it now.
If there is anything that you have not obtained clarity on, maybe we can provide you the mic or you can put it in the chat. Okay. So if there are no questions, Bhaiya, would you like to give any assignment?
Yeah, Didi, what they can do is what the assignment which they have been doing in the last, the end of the last session. That is, so they can list down their aspirations. And then they have been classifying the aspirations based on right understanding, relationship, and physical facility. And now, since we have just opened up the human being as a coexistence of self and body, if they can see what is self and what is body, it is not explored in full, but they can list down the aspirations and they can see whether the aspirations are for the self or for the body. But only if they can see the proposal very clearly, that who makes decisions. So if they can answer to these questions, who enjoys the food, who enjoys the music, who enjoys the movies, as Ruby this was telling, it is for the self. If they can see that it is for the self, and body requires food, etc., but the taste of that goes to the self. When the body has sensations, like music is listened by the body through the sense organs, movies are seen as well as listened by the body through sense organs, but the enjoyment goes to the self. Then when we feel high or elated, the effect is there on the health of the body, as well as when we feel like low and depressed, the effect is there on the health of the body also. But in the self, the feeling is there, and in the body, the health part is getting maybe sometimes affected, sometimes it is getting improved. So if they can see this and see the presence of self and body in a human being, then they can classify the aspirations and concerns based on self and body. We will explore with regard to this assignment in the coming class meeting also. Okay, Didi, this is what I have to say. Thank you very much for your participation, all the participants. Thank you very much. And Didi, over to you. Over to you.
Thank you, Sunil Bhaiya. It was a lovely deliberation, and I'm sure all our participants have been greatly benefited into understanding the aspirations and our concerns which affect us. And also, you have taken up the starting portion of what a human being is. For us to explore whether we are just the self or the body or part of it. And I'm sure in the next coming session next week, this will be done in further detail. Till then, and a big thank you to all participants who have been with us today, and also especially to all the participants who have actively interacted. Ruby ji, Vaishali ji, who have, despite so many FDPs and despite so many workshops, still attend and still participate in all these workshops so as to improve into the understanding. Actually, what happens is, Ranganath ji, one more thing I would like to tell you is, despite attending as many as we want, what happens is with each session that we do, clarity comes on something or the other, because the exploration, it is not necessary that comes for the whole content. So the more we attend, the more we explore, and the more clarity we get into being good human beings, and with right understanding, right feeling. So on that note, a big thank you to all, and especially to Parikshit Bhaiya, who's in the background of all this and in the technical support. So a big thank you to all, and good night.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.
Parikshit Bhaiya, I think we can end the session. We are already 5 minutes.
We can call it a day. Namaste, everybody. Namaste.